Hi, my name is Shelley Grafstein, and I want to share with you the miracles that took place. At about 4:15 in the morning, me and 3 children were sleeping upstairs. I heard a noise that woke me up, and I was ready to go back to sleep, and I heard the shrill shrieking of the fire alarm. Jumped out of bed, I ran down the hall. By the time I hit the hallway, I could smell smoke. I was screaming at my kids to wake up, there's a fire, we have to escape. They all ran out of bed, and in those few seconds that elapsed, we could no longer see the hallway, we could no longer see the staircase. We think the fire went swooshing up the hallway, basically at the same time as it filled the living room, which is why I heard the alarm immediately. So we ran into my bedroom and shut the door. My 23-year-old daughter called the fire department, and I called our neighbor across the street because I know he is a completely amazing person. He gets a call from me at 4:19 with me screaming, Itzik, you have to save us, there's a fire.
איציק, אש בבית שלי. הערתי את אשתי, אמרתי לה, רוצי איתי ביחד, רצנו אני ואסתר אשתי.
He runs to our house, asks for the code to get into our house. And by a miracle, the door was not locked or bolted. He could enter through the keypad.
שלי נתנה לי את המספר של הקוד, פתחתי את הדלת, ואז הכל היה עשן מאוד חזק. לא יכולתי לעמוד פה, נחנקתי.
He doesn't know if Akiva is my army son who sleeps in the safe room right off the kitchen. And he's screaming for Akiva, Akiva, I can see you, everything is fine. And my son is responding, okay. And then my son stops responding. Itzik can't enter the house because of the enormous amount of smoke, the heat, the flames. So at great risk, Mamash at great risk to his life, he finds a sheet at the front door, which is also a miracle that there was a sheet there. He wraps it around his face, he runs in at great risk to himself, and he's running through the main floor, and he feels my son grasp his ankle. He picks my son up, and he throws him out of the house.
אמרתי לו, צא, אני רואה אותך. זה בסך הכל 3 מטר, הוא לא יכול לצאת. התחלתי להתקדם, צעד אחד, פתאום עקיבא נגע לי ברגל, תפסתי אותו מהיד ומשכתי אותו החוצה.
My son remembers going to sleep at 3 in the morning, locking his bedroom door, lying in the bed and thinking, if I lock my bedroom door, my mom will kill me. So thank God he unlocked the door. It would have been 100% impossible to rescue him otherwise. And he went to sleep. Being in the army, he had his gun under the bed and about 50 or 60 bullets and magazines on the couch. He remembers waking up on the floor, and he said he felt like he was breathing fire, and he doesn't remember anything else until he got out of the house.
ואז אני ואשתי עמדנו למטה, והם החליקו על הסדינים, ותפסנו אותם, והם ירדו למטה.
Thank God, my youngest son had opened the bolt on the window in the summertime when we moved in, and I had never put the lock back on. That saved our life also. I honestly don't know what I was doing at the time, but my 23-year-old daughter took the sheets off the bed, she tied the knot. She tied the knot to the window, and we all prayed that the knots would hold. And we took my 12-year-old son, and he shimmied down, and then my 15-year-old daughter shimmied down. Youngest to oldest, down the window, down the sheets, and Itzik caught us at the bottom. And when we landed on the ground, I realized my 17-year-old daughter might be in the house. She had said she was sleeping in Yerushalayim, but sometimes she comes home. And I'm screaming that my daughter might be in the house. The firemen were looking for my 3rd daughter because we didn't know where she was. They flipped over the beds. They threw out a lot of clothes in case she was hiding in the cupboards. They did the same in this room. When we came back to the house, everything this daughter owned was on the floor. We got a hold of my daughter, and thank God we found out that she was fine. My son was terrified that the firemen would get shot by the bullets that we could hear exploding in the house, and he came out with nothing, much nothing, not even a shirt on his back. He came out with nothing. He owns nothing. This is the room, the mamad, where the fire started. My son was in his bed. The fire started here, probably inches from his head. You can see the whole room was incinerated. He's the only thing that came out of his room totally intact. They took us in two ambulances. They kept us for 7 hours, and Akiva was in for 3 days. He had to spend 6 hours in the chambers. He's on oxygen, he's coughing up. His saliva is black with soot. And he's home, thank God. You can see the extensive damage. Her cupboard doors were closed. This is from inside her cupboard. Everything is covered. It's like such a miracle. and we go into a store we've never been into, and Akiva's got his oxygen tank. And the woman asks us, oh, do you have asthma? And Akiva says, no, I was in a fire. She said, when? He said, Friday. And she said, what time? And we told her, and she said, oh my God, my husband is a fireman. He was a fireman in your fire, and he came home after the fire to tell me the miracles that occurred for you to be alive. Then we went to the fire station to fill out a report, and the firemen, this is their livelihood, this is what they do. The firemen all lined up to shake my son's hand and to give him a hug and to tell him to bench gomo, which is a special prayer you say when you've gone through a miracle, and to tell him how lucky he was to be alive. And I also want to add that the man who saved us, his son, his 13-year-old son, is in stage 4 cancer, and he needs all the prayers he can get. So please say a special prayer for Noam Shalom ben Inbar, that he should have a complete recovery in the merit of the 5 lives that Itzik and his wife Esther saved